this video, we are going to see how you can implement a Hello World n8n workflow. We'll keep it simple. Imagine you are working in a company where around 20 of your colleagues, they play badminton or tennis in the evening in a club somewhere in London or San Francisco or Bangalore, anywhere. Just think, couple of guys, 4 or 5 people, they manage the bookings. Every day they book codes for today, this week's and next week's. So imagine the number of entries available for this week, so many codes, next week so many codes, and every day one of them has to go and scan all the codes and filter only today's code and the timings and put it in a Slack message so that whoever is interested, they will register their interest and go and play in the evening. This is a very tedious job and this is a very simple use case, but we'll use a Hello World workflow, very simple components and nodes to automate this. Let's jump into action. Let's get the requirements clear. A group of 20 colleagues play in a club in London where the code bookings are managed by 4 or 5 of them on daily basis. Then what is the problem here? The problem is every day one or more of them, they have to filter, scan the entire sheet where they maintain the entries and publish a message to Slack for that evening schedule, so that whoever is interested, they will register their interest and start playing in the evening. This is a tedious task and this needs to be automated. Okay, let's see in a context. So this is the Google Sheet. This is maintained by the colleagues in a central place. I have only showing you subset of the entries, but there will be massive entries here. More than 50 entries will be there because every day around 5 to 7 codes will be booked and similar bookings for every week. Just imagine around 35 entries or 42 entries, and for 2 weeks around more than 80 entries will be there here. I have kept it simple just for you to understand the context and automate it. Okay, so imagine you want to play on a Tuesday, which is today, let's say. So there are 2 entries here only. Copy this and paste it into the Slack message here, like date, timing, code number, then what else? Day booked by. Day booked by. Like this, how many codes are booked? So let's say you have 5 bookings, so around 10 people can participate, or you have 2 bookings, around 4 to 6 people can play. Okay, and people will register and start playing in the evening. So that's our requirement. Read the Google Sheet, filter the entries for that day matching, and go and publish in the one of the games channel here, bookings channel. Okay, to do that, first thing is you click create workflow here. Then before we get into, let me show you what all things you will know by the time we finish this Hello World implementation. Okay, you will know you have to use trigger, conditional routing, OAuth2 Authentication to third-party apps, then how to take AI help, Grok or ChatGPT. Then we have to integrate with Slack and Google Sheet, and a real-world use case which we are talking now, and a no-op, do nothing node, and a CRON scheduler, and test mode and production mode. All these things you will know at the end of this video. So even though it is a Hello World application, still there are a lot of fundamental things you'll get to know. Okay. So first thing is we have to read this Google Sheet and publish the message into the Slack. So let's go with Slack first. Click here and type Slack. And what you have to do, you have to send a message to Slack. Click send a message. Okay. Now here, what you have to, this I have already a connection to the Slack, but you have to create a new connection. Here, create a new credential. Click that, and you'll have access token and OAuth2. OAuth2 is the best way to integrate another third party. If you give access token, this token expires and you have to re-authenticate. All those hassles you have to go through. Because this is self-hosted, it is best to use the OAuth2, and it gives a fixed URL. This URL we have to get it authorized by Slack. So copy this URL and go to Slack app, and we'll see how to integrate it. There is a help available also. You see here, need help, open docs. Click on that. It opens the doc, and pretty much it says the steps to do it, but this is not very user friendly, I would say, but this is most up to date. So you have to keep in mind documentation is the first point of contact, but if you are very non-techy, it's best to use a ChatGPT or Grok. So here is the command, here is the prompt you can use for ChatGPT. Okay, I'll put this in description also, you can copy paste. So in n8n Slack node, how can I connect to a Slack app via OAuth2 mechanism so that I can send a message to where? To a channel. For example, our booking channel. Give me step-by-step instructions. So if I give this to Grok, the Grok, just go to grok.com, okay, and paste this prompt basically, and hit enter. So you will get this kind of help. So this is pretty nicely laid out here. Okay, and I have also used ChatGPT, but ChatGPT somehow was not very elegant or very up to date giving this info. So that's why I fell back to the Grok. Okay, so it says go to the Slack API. So click here, stick the Slack API. Now create a new app here. Then there are 2 entries here. So use this one from scratch and hit enter, and give your, if you go here, give your app name and select your workspace. For example, I have a number of workspaces, or select workspace and click create. That's it, create app, this one. Done. Now I have created already just before that the same thing, and once your app is created, you will have an entry here, and click that. Then let's get back to the Grok. The app is created at this point. Now in the app settings, navigate to features, OAuth2 permissions. Okay, features. Now go to OAuth2 permissions here, this bit. Okay, now add new redirect URL. So go to your n8n workflow here, click this, you copy this here, you click to copy and add n8n URL, click that and paste it, and don't forget to save it. So you will get an entry here. Okay, so now I have got an entry exactly like that. You have to do, that's what it says. Then go to the scope section here, scopes. There will be no entries here initially, and click that, add an auth to scope. Then you write read or whatever is there, but in our case we need a channel read and chart write, and add it and save it. That's it. Okay, Then this is important bit. Once you are done, this will get activated. Install to zero code. Until that time, this will be deactivated. Once you are done, you have to install it and activate it. Okay. This bit is done. Now it will pop up. You have to say allow and authorize it. Okay. They will generate the OAuth tokens. Behind the scene it will do. You don't have to pick those tokens and do anything. Okay. As soon as you are done, this is also important bit now. Go to settings and basic information. Go to settings and basic information here. And let's click it. Okay. Copy this client ID and show here. Click show and copy this secret and paste it in the workflow here. Client ID and client secret. That's it. And save it. It will say succeeded. That's it. You are done. Okay. So I have done, and you can rename that connection to your, let's say, Tom or Harry Slack connection, something like that, just for you to remember, but it's not a mandatory thing. Once that is done, your Slack integration is ready by this time. Okay. Now let's go to the next step. We have to send a message. Okay. Message. Operation is send, and message to whom? Message to a channel. Okay. Click that and pick a channel. So in our case, we are picking n8n code bookings, which we have already created just few minutes ago. Whatever you have created, test channel or channel, badminton or tennis booking, like that, and it will appear here. Okay. See, n8n code bookings. So let's click that. Message type, simple text message. And just for our testing, let's type hello world n8n message testing and execute this step. So if you press execute, this is a kind of unit testing. You are testing this component is working or not. And it says it has worked successfully, and this is also gives a tick mark, so that means it has worked. So we have to go on channel and see whether we have received the message. See, hello world n8n testing. Just now it received. Okay, so we are pretty much done integrating this step, and before we proceed, we have to rename this something like that, something hello world n8n. Enter. Okay. That's it. So Slack is done. Now we are sending the message, but what message? We have to read this Google Sheet and pick today's bookings. Okay. So for that, we have to add a Google Sheet here. Google Sheets. Then we have to read. Where is get rows? You see, so instead of read, they have dosed it, get rows in the sheet. So type get rows, and in the similar way, you go to the Grok and change your prompt a little bit and ask how to integrate the Google Sheet. Okay, so copy paste this bit in Grok and to type n8n Google Sheet node. How can I connect to Google sheet to a tab by OAuth2 mechanism so that I can read the entries row by row. That's it, and hit enter. So exactly in a similar way, you have to connect to Google Sheet and see new credential, and once you successfully connect, you can put that entry, name that entry somewhere so that you can remember. You don't have to re-enter it again and again. In next subsequent workflows, you go and choose that entry here. Okay, now we have to read that. How to read that? Sheet within the document, that's fine. Get rows is fine. Document, which document it is asking? Which document? So we have to, our document name is club bookings. Okay. It should appear here. See this one. So let's click that club bookings, and in that the sheet name is this one. So let's go to the workflow, and which is this name is bookings. Only one tab is there, so click that tab, bookings, and execute. Just execute. So what will happen? Execute will pick all the rows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 until 15 rows it is going to pick. That's fine, just for experiment purpose. It should be okay. See, every row, all the rows. So that means our integration is perfect and it's working. You can have various views here. You can have a tabular view. Okay. Yeah. You can have a schema view as well. But JSON view is more elegant and it's more user friendly to see and edit it. Okay. So we have typed that. Now this order is not correct, so let's delete this entry, delete this, take this here and connect it and connect this. So we are pretty much done with the hello world, but we'll make it a little more elegant. So here, look at this place, click that, it will tidy up the things. Okay. Now if I execute this, it will pick all the rows from here and publish it to Slack. But that's what we don't need. We need only today's booking. So let's add a if routing, a conditional routing. Okay. If here, so in the conditional routing, we have to filter the entries based on this. So each block here is one entry in the Google Sheet. Okay. This entry, like that. Everything it has picked here. Now for each entry, we'll pick the date, and you see the date is having no time component. It's just a pure date here. But if we compare it to, let's say, $today, which is having a time component, so it won't do a comparison because we are doing a date time and is equal to comparison. So it's going to fail. To make it all right, so we have to do it a little bit this way. Today, sorry, the entry dot to date time, which has got the time component now. So okay, in the n8n, how it works is, in your previous node, when it comes to current node, it will execute the workflow for each entry. So that means if it has 15 entries, this conditional logic will execute 15 times and it will collect everything in an array. You see here, open array and close array here. Okay. Even if you have just one entry as output, still it will keep this as an array. Okay. Now if we, as we expected, we should have only a couple of entries, one here and one enter output of the if block. Okay, execute it. This is false, this is true. Okay, let's execute again. See, only 6th date's entry it has retrieved. Now if you, let's say if you want today dot tomorrow's entry, let's say you want here, which is 1 day ahead, comma, basically I am trying to pick this days. So that means it will match the 7th January and give me the entries. Let's execute this here. See, 7th January, only one entry. For our requirement, we have to be practical. So we need only today's bookings. We'll publish it through the Slack in the morning, and whoever colleagues interested, they will register their interest, and evening they go and play. That's it. So before you forget, make sure you save the workflow from time to time. Save it. Done. And if you see, if has got one true and one false entry. So that true output we have to redirect it to the Slack. So what happens here is, this is just a manual execution, we are executing it. Read the entries from the Google Sheet, filter it only for today's entries and publish it to the Slack. This is done. And this one we can put something do nothing basically. See, do nothing, there is an entry and it goes here, because false entries it does nothing, it just ends here. Okay, now if you want to tidy up the things, you can click here, click, so it tidies up everything. You can save it. Okay, at this point, if we go back to our Slack, there is just one message and nothing has been published here because we have not executed the workflow yet. Let's execute and see. Here you can execute. Click. Ding. Okay, workflow executed. Let's go to Slack and see. n8n message, because that output of the thingy we have not transformed it. Now here you see there is a hard-coded message, so we have to switch it to expression here. Look at this expression, and click the tiny arrow here, go there. As you know, we wanted the center, then date and day, quote number, timing, booked by whom. Okay, all these things we need dynamically. So just drag this. This is the beauty of n8n. You can drag this output here, put it here, date, day, quote number, timing, booked by. That's it. And save it. Now let's execute. So we don't have anything. Now let's execute here. Execute the workflow. Okay, it is published. Let's see what it has published. Ah, nice. So there are two codes that has been blocked. One code is by James and another code by Shalini. Okay, so now there are two codes. So when the colleagues they want to register, maximum 4 to 6 people can play badminton and tennis here. So how it helps? Okay, so the spelling mistake is there. You can go and fix that. Okay, that's a minor one. Just so this is pretty much done what we wanted to do, but there's a little bit of things on its own. This workflow is not much useful, because if I'm executing it manually, it doesn't make much sense. It just helps me in filtering, but I have to go every morning and execute this manually. It's still a bit of manual work is there, so we have to fully automate it. So to do that, we have to attach a scheduler here, which is also called CRON. Okay, both same thing. You click that, so it brings you can schedule. You want to play every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to Sunday, or you want to play alternate day, you can manage that here. And there is a custom also, you can do that. And there is help here, you can take here. If you see, if you go to docs, it gives you the parameter, hour trigger, days trigger, weeks trigger, all those things are available. But let's keep it simple and get it tested whether it works or not. For now, the time is just 5 o'clock. Let's go to, instead of day, we'll make it as hours to test it basically. Okay, and now let's say 5:05 minutes, hours, let's say 17 hours, and in 4th minute it's a trigger. So where is the trigger? The trigger is here. I don't need this is the dummy trigger. I will delete this, and this trigger I will bring in and I'll attach that to this. Okay, so this trigger will trigger in couple of minutes. We'll see that in action, but before that, let's save it. Let's go to executions. See, executions, all these executions are text executions we have just done in last 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, but because it is test, it will not, in real time it is not going to work. So we have to make it active. Only then it is in live mode and it is production ready now. So now it is live working. So as soon as in a minute, it's going to execute it here. It will give us a production execution where this test tube symbol won't be there. Okay, so that's pretty much, and it's going to put an entry here. Okay, let's put a separator here just to, let's wait here and see the entry is coming or not. Yes, the entry has come now. Okay, so that's pretty much the thing. Let's go back to our recap. What all things we learned. So we learned what is a trigger. In our case, we scheduled a cron trigger, a scheduler, also be manually triggered, and there was a dummy trigger. So that bit is trigger. Something has to trigger so that the workflow executes and runs. And what is a conditional routing? We learned that. And what is OAuth2 authentication and how to achieve it for third-party applications like Slack and GoogleSheet. Then how to take help of AI, ChatGPT or Grok. Then how to integrate to Slack and Google, we covered that. Then we saw how a real-world use case can be automated using n8n. Then we saw a no-op node which does nothing, and sometimes you need that. And a CRON scheduler which can be scheduled hourly basis, daily basis, weekly basis, whatever they want. And we saw test mode and production live mode. Okay, so that's pretty much the thing. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching.